Let the games begin.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning on this Thirsty Thursday, this pre-Friday. And I want to welcome all my movie maniacs, yes, and all my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there. You guys know who you are out there in movie land. And as always, I'm your humble host, Van Ebert, a.k.a. Movies Merica. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner, to quote that old phrase. Yes, I know. It's old. It's ancient. But so am I. So there you go. Anyway, but speaking of ancient, we've got dinosaurs featured in the movie here for tonight's Movies Merica spoiler warning episode. The End of Oak Street is the name of the movie. I almost forgot what the name of the movie was. It was almost called it The Ass End of Choke Street, which some people might actually call this movie. All right. So, but hey, everyone's got their right to an opinion that is faux show. Okay. But before we get into the movie here, a little too much. First, this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, yes, that is how we do that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And just to let you guys know that you don't have to just sit there and listen to me yap and talk and, yammer on about this movie here tonight, The End of Oak Street. Okay, you guys can get fully interactive, all right? Now I'm not talking about virtual reality goggles or, anything like that, or inflatable girlfriends. No, not that kind of interactive. I'm talking about the live chat out there, okay? We have the live chat available both in Rumble and in YouTube. And so you can get on the live chat and let me know, hey, if you've seen the End of Wall Street or The Wolf of Oak Street, I don't know, whatever the name of this movie is, then yeah, feel free to get in the live chat. Let me know. Maybe you loved it, maybe you hated it, maybe you're like, meh, okay. Maybe you were just like, hey, this is just the poor man's Jurassic Park, and I tolerated it. And quite frankly, really, all that being said, you can live chat about whatever you want. Okay, get in the live chat and let me have it. Rip me a new one, bust my balls a little bit, and because that's what the live chat's really for, right? Isn't it? Yeah, that's what it's for. It's for getting on YouTube and Rumble shows and then busting the balls of, whoever the host or hosts of the shows are. That's what live chat's for. Come on, let's get it right there. Let's not just get it twisted or anything like that.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
No, you can't. So anyway, okay. So, and real quick here, just to let you know here, or just remind you, hey, go ahead and send a link to this episode to anybody that you even remotely suspects is in two movies whatsoever. Particularly, the Wolf of Oak Street here. Again, I screwed up the title again. All right, there we go. But yeah, let them know about that, or anybody who's just into movies and just wants to, come in here and talk movies here, or anybody that gets special pleasure out of busting the balls out of hosts of live stream shows like this one right there. Okay. All right. Enough about that here. Let's move on with some The End of Oak Street.
Dino DNA.
Okay. So let me share this here with you. Let's get into something right here. And let me do that. There we go. And so just to kind of harken back to a better movie that came out a couple weeks ago. So with the exception of Spider-Man Brand New Day, which technically actually was released on July 31st, August has been a pit of despair for good new movies. Now, that is typical since studios release the good summer movies, or what they think is good, April through July. But every once in a while, you'll get a good, summer movie, or you'll get like an excellent high grossing movie in August. We had Guardians of the Galaxy there. We also had The Sixth Sense in 1999. You have The Fugitive there with Harrison Ford in August of 1993. And then also you have some movies where they weren't exactly high grossing, The Sixth Sense and Guardians of the Galaxy and The Fugitive in 1993. And because sometimes you get movies like Gran Turismo that came out in August of 2023 there. So also Hollow Man. You got Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon playing the Invisible Man along with Elizabeth Shue back in August 2000. That's the Paul Verhoeven movie. Paul Verhoeven, the guy that directed RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Starship Troopers. You might have heard of those movies right there. So, all right. And then we have Tin Cup. That was also a August release back in 1996 there, of course, as you see there with Kevin Costner and Rene Russo and Cheech Marin. There you go. So, but sometimes, just, you get August movies that are good, but they're just not hits right there. And, movies like Gran Turismo, Hollow Man, and Tin Cup are examples of that there. So, but Hollow Man, I should say Hollow Man wasn't that low grossing or anything like that. So Hollow Man did make some money. Gran Turismo, it was profitable by about 3 cents right there. Absolutely. So, and hey, we got Unfolding Joker over there on the live chat side, on the Rumble side there, or in the live channel on the Rumble side right there. And he says, if you build it, they will come. And hey, I built this show here, tonight. We got the show going on. So hopefully we'll get some folks to come and join the show here and keep Unfolding Joker company here in the Rumble live chat here. And and Unfolding Joker's got a different name for Hollow Man here. He's got Eye Hole Man, which I'm sure they probably toss that name around, that title of that movie around, and then I don't know, just for some reason, the focus groups, the people in the focus groups, and the guys in the trial groups just didn't find that title very appetizing. Very appetizing there. There we go. I don't know what was that was all about right there. So had a little choke up moment there or something. But anyway, so there you go. But hey, good to see you here, Unfolding Joker, up here in the show right there. Okay, so now the end of Oak Street is neither excellent or high grossing. All right, no matter what Rotten Tomatoes scores the normies give it. I mean, these are the same people that would rather drool in front of Love Island or The Real Housewives of Skink County than sit down and teach your kids, a valuable skill or, read a book. I mean, just think about that, when you see the scores, for some movies, I should say, from the normies right there. Okay. So, and it's also the latest dinosaur movie not connected to the Jurassic Cinematic Universe to go extinct almost immediately at the box office. Because if anybody sits there and is going to try to convince me here tonight that, okay, all right, Van, okay, the end of Oak Street, yes, it came in third on its opening weekend. All right, it didn't do that great, but man, wait till that second weekend or wait till that third weekend. Man, it's going to be a hit. Okay, it's going to be massive. It's going to have legs, all right? It's gonna be profitable. Like, no. All right. The most profitable weekend for any movie is always the first weekend. The first weekend of its wide release, okay? And then it just goes downhill from there, okay, for the most part right there. So now the exceptions to that are a couple of movies you've heard of. One is E.T., okay, the old classic Steven Spielberg movie E.T. in 1982. And the only other example of that was something that's much more recent, and that was the movie Obsession that came out earlier this year. Those are the only two movies that have actually made more money in any subsequent weekend. And in the case of those two movies, they made more money in their second weekend of wide release than they did in their first weekend of wide release. But, all the other thousands and thousands of movies that have come out, they have never, ever made more money on their second weekend or any weekend after that. So yeah, miss me with that whole, the end of Oak Street's going to have a bigger weekend, their second and third and fourth weekend than they did the first weekend. Okay, yep. Wrong, all right.
You are a retard.
Absolutely. So it's not my words, that guy's words right there. So, and like I said, the end of Oak Street opened up in third place with a paltry 58.5 million worldwide, far short of what it actually would take to even, to ever break even. In other words, to quote a much better dinosaur movie,
So nobody cares.
nobody cares about the House of Wolf Street. No, not at all. Or the House of Wall Street or the Wolf of Oak Street or something like that, whatever this movie's called there. Okay, so nobody cares. Now, the exception, sort of, is last year's Primitive War. That was a hit only, though, because of viral word of mouth and its very low budget. Okay, and Primitive War was a movie about Vietnam, like special operators. They were out on this special mission to recover this other team that they haven't heard any sign of whatsoever. They just, disappeared. They just ghosted. And so they're sent out to try to retrieve these other special ops guys. And they run into dinosaurs, of all things, while they're, in Vietnam. And so it's a pretty good movie. It wasn't as good as it was built up to me by a lot of people. Okay, but Primitive War is, a decent movie there. And it's, but it's not worthy of like dropping to your knees and praying to, like some people did, or it sounded like they were doing right there. Like I said, it was a hit because of its low budget and its virality, but also because, it is an excellent dinosaur movie that the end of Oak Street should consider itself lucky if it even got the chance to lick the Primitive War boots. Okay, so so basically, when I'm talking about Primitive War, you should watch it. You should definitely check that out there. So absolutely. And speaking of that, here, let me do you a solid. I'm going to see if I can find where you can watch Primitive War at here. So save you some effort, because that's what I am here for, everybody. All right. I'm here to help you out. All right. Would I ever lie to you? I would never lie. Not at all. Yeah, and I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Why am I doing that voice? Okay. So, yeah, if you got Hulu, yeah, you can stream it for free on Hulu. We got Primitive War on there, or you can rent or buy it on a Prime Video. Yeah, absolutely, right here. So, yep, got that going on. And, yeah, let me do this all this stuff. There we go. Get out of that. Stop screen. There we go. And I'll just share this real quick here. There we go. And Primitive War. Share that up. There we go. Get over here. Do that. Add stage. There we go. So there's Primitive War. That's what I'm talking about right there. So let's check that out. So, yeah, nice. Yeah, let me do this here. I'll play the trailer here for you guys too. Yeah, there we go. And we'll do that. And we'll go over here. And it would help if I had volume up.
I heard you got to. Nice work, Baker.
All right. There we go.
I heard you got to. Nice work, Baker. You gotta be a lunatic if you're gonna be a vulture. Let's see what you guys think of this next mission.
3 days ago, I lost my Green Berets. We're gonna drop you in right here, in that valley.
got our job. Find those Green Berets.
You've got one piece of the puzzle. That's all. Don't make him aware of position. One female Russian survivor. They're still out there. Just take to the moon. If we insert was attacked by all kinds of prehistoric beasts. We need an emergency extract from the zoo.
And that's not an option. Listen, my mission is to get my men home, not fight dinosaurs. I'm gonna go find them, dead or alive.
People survive an hour. Your men will die.
Better get fueled up and get ready. We're doing what you want. We're probably all gonna die screaming because of we talk about that screaming and dying bit.
All right. There we go. Let's get out of that. There we go. All right. So, yeah, so that's Primitive War. I thought you deserved a little taste of Primitive War. So, and yeah, I would definitely check it out. Like I said earlier, hey, it's playing for free on Hulu. If you got Hulu right there, absolutely. Okay, let's move on.
Dino DNA.
All right. So let me just take a quick minute here just to remind you that there is this thing called the like button, and it's right on down there. Okay. So if you click on that like button, it doesn't cost you a thing. It takes you about 0.01 seconds to click on that. And then also there is the notification, I'll get to that. There's the subscribe or follow button, which is also right on down there. So if you would click on that. If you haven't already, if you already have, don't click on it again because then you'll unsubscribe or unfollow. And then also now I'll get to the notification bell button, which is again right on down there. So, and click on that to just get like one lowly email. Just one. Okay. One email a week to let you know when there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious, scintillating new episode of Movies Merica coming hot, steaming out of the oven for you. Okay. And then real quick, as I wrap this up here, I just want to talk to the folks here just for a second that are watching the show as a recording. Okay. You didn't have a chance to watch live. All right. Maybe you're off doing something, you're maybe you're like, hey, spending time with your family or something. I don't know, or reading a book and learning what? Okay. So yeah, you didn't have time to watch this show here live, okay, but you're watching the recording of it. Well, thank you very much. First off, let me thank you for watching the show, and second of all, if you got something to say, all right, well, let me put it in a way that's a little less hostile sounding. So if you want to communicate, with me about something, yeah, feel free to do that, but you're just gonna have to do it via the comments section, okay? And the comments section is down below right there. So yeah, so you can let me know. Hey, what do you think of the show? You know what? Hey, don't worry about treating me with kid gloves. Don't worry about being completely honest. If you hate the show, let me know. If you love it, well, definitely let me know. If you're somewhere in between, let me know that as well. Or if you want to let me know, hey, of a movie that you want me to review, or ultimately you can comment whatever you want down there. I can't stop you, but I do read the comments, and I'm fully prepared when I read those comments to hear something that's less than flattering to yours truly right here. It's all good in the hood, everybody there. Absolutely. So, all right, it's time to wrap that up right there.
Dino DNA.
Okay, so what should we do next, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, we got so many things we could do here. I don't know. I guess we could talk a little bit more about the end of Oak Street there. But real quick here, let me take a drink off my brewski here. And hey, that's my reminder to remind you guys, everybody, that yeah, go ahead and drink up whatever you guys are drinking up on tonight.
I'm drunk. You're drunk. Everybody's drunk.
Absolutely, to that. Yep. I love it. There we go. Absolutely. And all right, let's move on here. And we've got some more End of Oak Street to talk about. And so I know that the End of Oak Street is a movie about a neighborhood, having to survive dinosaurs. And it's a bad one at that. Okay. People are, not only do they have to worry about, porch pirates, and they don't, they just, not only do they just have to worry about, or not only do they have to worry about like Amazon delivery drivers, not delivering the packages right to their door, or, their neighbor's dog shitting on their lawn. They got like dodge like velociraptors and T-Rexes and, pterodactyls and stuff like that. Okay. So, however, it just has too many moments that are just so brain dead. Like when the librarian just happens to know what the name of the plant from, millions of years ago is. Okay. When Anne Hathaway shows her like a Polaroid of this plant that like her next door neighbor or one of her neighbors has in the backyard, right? It looks like it's that plant. It looked like it had a pineapple up at the very top there. And, she goes into her local library, and the librarian just happens to know what the name of this plant that, hasn't existed for millions and millions of years is. And then at the end of the conversation, the librarian still goes, "Sorry, I couldn't be more help to you." What? What are you talking about? You were a tremendous help to her. Okay. More of a help to her than is believable. Okay. All right. Any logical person. All right. So, how about this? How about when the kid that wants to break Brian's arm rushes Brian because he thinks he's found the perfect time to do that, even though he damn well knows everyone in the neighborhood has bigger fish to fry in trying to avoid becoming dino dinner. All right. Now, also involving Brian, the movie has him continually trying to use his toy bow and arrow against these massive, tough-skinned dinosaurs like he's like some sort of limp-wristed Katniss Everdeen or something. You'll really need to lace up your Special Olympics helmet extra hard for this next sequence I'm going to mention here, when a Allosaurus chases Anne Hathaway, up onto someone's patio, and she doesn't get eaten because a massive dinosaur can't get past some wooden load-bearing patio pillars. Okay. Now the reality is, the reality would be that thing, that dinosaur, that Allosaurus, with its crushing weight and frenzied momentum, would turn those pillars into toothpicks on first impact, and suddenly, well, there'll be no The Devil Wears Prada 3 for Anne Hathaway ever. Okay, so also, since the movie, has the dinosaur held back by those pillars, Hathaway had plenty of time to just kind of slip right over the old patio railing behind her, easily, getting out of the clutches, or basically getting out of a near-death experience with the dinosaur right there. However, the reason that they did that is because the movie needed her trapped so that Ewan McGregor could come and rescue her by pummeling the dinosaur with Mjolnir. I'm sorry. Just a plain old sledgehammer. My bad. So, yeah, extra retarded. Yay! That's how that works, everybody. All right. So not all good in the hood. Not at all there. So, all right. Let me double check something here real quick. And let's do this. All right. I think we got going on everything here. All right. So I'm just going to do a little multitasking here real quick. If you would indulge me here. Let's do this. All right. Doing this, doing that. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just trying to copy and paste something here. We're going to see if that'll work up in the hizzy. All right. Oops, there we go. All right. And talk amongst yourselves. Talk about like your favorites dinosaur movies there. And now I'm going to say my favorite dinosaur movie of all time would be, it's going to sound, it's going to sound sacrilegious, but I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Okay. To be honest with you guys there, I'm a big fan of that. Now, some people will be like, how can you like that better than the first Jurassic Park? And to that, very simply, hey, it's just my preference. Okay, I think I like I like Jurassic Park: The Lost World more than the first Jurassic Park, just because Jurassic Park: The Lost World is darker. Okay, to me, it's kind of like The Empire Strikes Back of the Jurassic Park movies. Okay, where The Empire Strikes Back was darker than Star Wars. All right, and The Empire Strikes Back is considered by many to be the best Star Wars movie. I know, it's hard to believe. That it's not Star Wars, the Revenge of the Sith. I know. But, yeah, The Empire Strikes Back is a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie. And because one of the things, it had kind of a darker mood, darker vibe to it. The stakes seemed like they were higher. And the same thing with Jurassic Park: The Lost World, the second one there, where, Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, who's the other guy there? We had... what's his come on, why am I forgetting this guy's name right here? Why am I forgetting his name? What is his name? I'm getting old, everybody. I'm getting old. I'm getting very, very old. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna make myself remember this guy's name right there. It's gonna be I had Pete Postlethwaite in it as well. Why am I not hitting this guy's name? Anyway, we're moving on. All right, this is bad TV. Me trying to remember the person's name right there, but yeah. So that's my favorite movie of all time, and you know what? I don't care whatsoever if you don't agree with me. No. There you go. So, all right, where were we, everybody? Where were we here on this blessed show? Well, I think I know where we're at actually now. I think where we're at is me getting thirsty, to be quite honest with you. And let me know in the live chat. Yeah, are you guys getting thirsty? You guys getting parched? Okay, so Volley Joker, right? Yeah, must be a forgettable person. Yeah, that one guy with the hair. The one guy, he breathes oxygen, has two legs, has two eyes. Eats, puts food in his mouth there completely. Yeah, that guy right there should nail down exactly who it is right there. And when I remember it, you guys are gonna be like, oh my God, how the hell did you forget that guy's name there? So Vince Vaughn, that's who it is. Vince Vaughn, that's a guy I'm trying to think of. Vince Vaughn, my God. How retarded am I today? Yay! I don't have a brain. I like candy. Yay! Okay, well, with let's let me try to sell you on some liquid retardation here with a little brew review time. Okay, let's talk about some brew today there, shall we, homies? Yeah, my little vatos. Let's talk about some brew, which makes no sense that I'm talking in a Mexican accent and I'm holding up a Japanese beer over here, Sapporo. It brings great honor to your family. Yes, okay. All right. And yes, if you watch all my episodes here, and I know everybody watches every episode of Movies Merica. I mean, I got such a devoted religious audience right there. You damn well know that I've reviewed Sapporo before. Okay, probably a couple times, all right? But I just love this brew so much. It just gives me an excuse to drink more Sapporo, to review it yet again. Okay, so, and Sapporo, as many of you probably know, it is Japan's oldest active beer brand, okay? And it was first brewed in 1876 in Hokkaido, okay? And Sapporo, I mean, it comes to us at 4.9% alcohol by volume, okay? So it's like a light drinking beer here. And it's known as like an international pale lager. Some people consider it a Japanese rice lager. All I know is I consider it something to drink. That's all I know. Right there. Okay, so now because it's a Japanese beer, you would think that it's brewed all in Japan, right? But actually, it's Japan. It's brewed mostly around U.S. in Canada and also in Vietnam there as well. Okay, so and as far as like how it tastes, I mean that's the most important part, right? So it's light bodied, like I was saying before. It's a light beer there. It's got like kind of a very like mild malt sweetness, and I don't know if you can picture like what like water crackers would taste like, but it's got kind of a like a little water cracker taste to it as you kind of get the finish and the taste right there. Okay. And sometimes they brew it with rice here to kind of give it that extra like cold snap to it. Not all of the batches that they make are with rice, but some of them are. And I like the ones that where they brew it, they throw some rice in there to give it that extra cold snap there as well. So, and if I were to pour this into a pint glass, you'd see that of course it comes and it pours with a color of a nice little straw yellow there, with the Sapporo colorization and appearance of all of that stuff right there. Okay, so and you know what, I'm going to recommend Sapporo here because this is my favorite Japanese beer. It's like I drank a metric ton of this when I was stationed over there, and I'm going to continue drinking metric tons of this stuff right here. So to honor my family, okay, all right, all right. So, so as you guys know, if I recommend a beer, I'm also going to give you some good food pairings. Absolutely, right there. And actually, my man Unfolding Joker actually has got a food pairing suggestion over here. I just saw out of the corner of my eye in the live chat on Rumble, and he says that it goes well with the steak. And I definitely would believe that right there because, I would imagine like the maltiness of it just kind of cuts through and enhances the flavor of the steak, that you get right there with your classic cut of cow flesh, so to speak, right there. But yeah, you are on point there at Foley Joker there as usual. And some other foods that it goes very well with is, of course, this being a Japanese beer, you would expect it to go good with sushi and sashimi, okay? Goes good with tempura, I should say, and tonkatsu, okay? Because, that's got a lot of, those are both fried foods there. And so, it helps kind of just kind of water down and kind of take, the richness, if you get tempura and it's too breaded, it's too rich, Sapporo right here would help cut right through that. So, grilled meats, like Unfolding Joker was talking about right there, or Korean barbecue, yakitori, and then also spicy dishes. It goes very well with that there, with like spicy Thai curries or kimchi, which is Korean cabbage. If you don't know what kimchi is there, it's so tasty. So good, so choice. I love me some kimchi, particularly on a burger. That's one place I miss. You guys ever move move and then you move away from like one of your favorite restaurants, and you think back with fondness, with love, of that restaurant you had to move away from. And there was a restaurant when I lived in Fort Worth called Hollywood Burger, and it was run by a Korean family. And as you would imagine, even though it's a burger joint, but it's run by a Korean family, they like to put kimchi on everything, man. And my God, they had this thing that they made called kimchi fries. Oh God, so tasty, so delicious. I loved it. Okay. Oh, very delicious. So yeah, kimchi fries, and they had like a kimchi burger you could get too. So tasty, so tasty. All right, but let me refocus. Let me refocus on that beer right there. So yeah, so that is Sapporo. There again, like I said, it comes to us at 4.9% on the alcohol by volume scale. There. Okay, so instead of me yapping about it, here, let me take a drink of it. What do you say? Tasty, tasty, smooth, so smooth right there. Absolutely. So yeah, good old Sapporo. This is definitely not the most obscure beer I have ever reviewed. Okay, this is pretty ubiquitous. You can get Sapporo pretty much anywhere you go there. So if you want to get it delivered to your door, go to Uber Eats or an app like Open Bar on your phone. All right. So or just get your lazy butt off the couch and drive to the grocery store, for God's sakes. Come on, man. All right. So, and with that has been Brew Review Time. Oh, ready. What do we got? What do we got going on here? And let's see here. There we go. I love it. I dig that. And I dig that about myself. I love it. Okay. So real quick here, let me do this here. I just want to let you guys know, I want to start a conversation, as they say, right? I want to make you aware. I want to raise awareness. Remember, people always used to say that they want to raise awareness about something, right? So I want to raise awareness of something right here. I want to make sure that you know about this thing and bring awareness to you. And what I want to raise awareness about is my Movies Merica merch store, everybody. Absolutely. So, and the link to the Movies Merica merch store is very easy to find. It's down in the description down below there, if you would check that out here. So, but allow me, if you would, indulge me just kind of doing a little tour of the Movies Merica merch site here. And so, as you see, we got apparel and hats and drinkware and accessories. And we're going to start off here with the merch that has the Big Mugs style Movies Merica logo on here. And so you see we got this camo trucker hat. Just to let you know, that trucker hat has no purple on it, unfortunately. I know if it's up to me, it would, but it does not have that on there. So, but it still looks, decent without it. But so it looks so much more choice if it had purple on there. But then we've got t-shirts with the Big Mugs logo here. Got a tank top, got a baseball long sleeve shirt, got hoodies, got windbreakers. Even got a sports bra there as well. Okay. And then also we've got hats there with the Big Mugs Movies Merica logo. And then moving on here, we've got the Hollyweird version of the Hollyweird style of Movies Merica logo. And so as you see here, we're kind of a repeat performance. We got just various t-shirts and tank tops and long sleeve baseball shirts and hoodies and windbreakers with that. Okay. So no sports bra. Okay. Then we are moving on to my personal favorite style of Movies Merica logo. That is the Black Adam style Movies Merica logo. And yeah, again, you know what? We got t-shirts and tank tops. Are you detecting a pattern here? You should be picking this up. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so that's the Black Adam style Movies Merica logo. All right. And then also, hey, you know what? We know people get thirsty, and so we don't want to leave those people out. And so, yes, we've got a coffee mug there with Movies America. We've got this can-shaped glass, got a pint glass here that, I can pour this beer into right here, okay? We got a koozie. We got actually a couple of different types of koozies. We got kind of like the more traditional koozie that, you've probably seen more of. And then we've got this stainless steel koozie here, which is, little, more sturdiness to it, okay? And then we have these desk mats here. If you want to check out, or if you want to, add some sophistication to your workstation, okay? If you want to class up the joint, go and, grab one of these Movies Merica desk mats right there. So there you go. Excuse me. All right. Get all choked up here when I talk about Movies Merica merch. But like I said, we've got the Movies Merica merch link in the description down below there. So check that out. And it also does make a great gift there. Okay. So any movie lover in your life, go ahead and get them, that movie, get them some Movies Merica merch. Again, like I always say, nothing says, I love you, Grandma, like a Movies Merica coffee cup there, okay? And who knows? Maybe dear old Granny will write you back into her will again because you got her a sweet, sweet Movies Merica coffee cup. Never know. You never know. Weirder things have happened right there, okay? So, but anyway, just wanted to raise awareness about the Movies Merica merch store right there, all right? Okay, let's move on.
Dino DNA.
All right, of course, right there you saw the late, great Sam Neill that was taken from us here far too early by the big C word here, 2-3 weeks ago here. So Sam Neill, a legendary actor there. Hunt for Red October. He was in, what was it, the other one? Event Horizon, of course. 3 Jurassic Park movies. So fantastic actor, that's for sure. So, all right, what should we do next here? Oh, I know what we should do. We should talk some more of the end of Oak Street. That's what I think we should do. Absolutely. So let me take care of a little midnight over here. There we go. Yep, do that right there. There we go. I'm gonna take care of some high quality H2O. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, what do we got here? Oh, did I miss something up here? I think I did. Let's see what there we go. There we go. Got that going on. All right, there we go. Getting everything in order over here. All right. And I just want to do this here, okay? How about we look at some better Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway movies to watch rather than the ass end of Choke Street, shall we? Okay, there's these two have been in plenty of better movies than the movie that they just came out with this week. And so to that effect, let's start out with one. We'll go through some Ewan McGregor movies, and then we'll go through some Anne Hathaway movies right there. Okay, so does that sound good? Everybody approve? Oh, I guess everybody does. All right, sweet. There you go. Hey, you know what? The audience has it. I'm not going to fight them on that right there. Okay, so, but yeah, what we have right here is Dr. Sleep, and this is the sequel to The Shining, and this came out a few years ago here with Ewan McGregor. Also had Rebecca Ferguson, the very luminescent Rebecca Ferguson here from you might know her from the Mission Impossible movies and other things there. And so this is Ewan McGregor. He plays Danny Torrance, okay, the grown-up version of the little boy from The Shining, okay. Of course, in The Shining, he barely got away with his mom, okay. And so in this one, he could still detect things. He's still got that. He can still shine, as they called that there in The Shining. And in this one, there's this little girl, and she has the gift of the shine there as well. Okay. But there's this evil group of people that go across the country, if I could talk right. And what they do is they suck the life force out of the most innocent people that they can find. And that would typically be like little kids, right? Like the most innocent among us, like little kids, kids that are truly innocent. They haven't been exposed to like the corrupt things of the world. They live in this innocent, innocent environment and that kind of thing. And so the evil group is trying to capture this little girl because they want to suck the life force out of her. And plus, I guess she's some kind of threat to them as well. Well, this group becomes a threat to the little girl. Okay. And then Danny Torrance has to try to help her out, try to save her. And this little girl is drawn to Danny. Okay. So like, people who could shine, I guess they could find other people that can shine, something like that. So, but again, he basically, he's the adult Danny Torrance, and it's a great movie. Okay. It's supposed to be a horror movie like The Shining. Okay. Now, if you watch a lot of horror movies, like I do right there, I didn't think it was particularly scary there, but if you're kind of uninitiated of scary movies, I think you will find this kind of scary here. It's a great movie. Who's that guy that Mike Flanagan, the guy who directed is Mike Flanagan. He's the same guy who did the what was it, Midnight Mass. You guys ever saw the miniseries on Netflix called Midnight Mass? Great miniseries. Okay. Fantastic miniseries. He's made some kind of other stinkers as well, but Midnight Mass and Doctor Sleep, those are a couple of good ones that he's done there. So, but yeah, check it out. Came out like in 2019. It made about 2 cents at the box office. Unfortunately, it's a damn shame that it didn't make more money at the box office. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, right? So, and so let's go back, or let's move forward on to our next better Ewan McGregor movie. And that would be a much younger Ewan McGregor in Black Hawk Down. Yeah, this is where he played Grimes. And he was mostly known at the beginning of this movie, for being like a typist. He was like an admin guy, and he made coffee, for everybody. And, he's dying, for some action, right? To get in the fight, to get in the shit. And, oh boy, does he get into the shit in Black Hawk Down. Because if you've seen Black Hawk Down, the whole movie, the whole mission, their whole, endeavor into Mogadishu turns to shit. Okay. And so he's right in the middle of it when this whole thing goes foobar. And he's in there with a great cast of characters. Okay, Black Hawk Down's a legendary war movie here, directed by the legendary Ridley Scott. And yeah, he's in this movie. I mean, check out this cast. I mean, he's in the movie, with Eric Bana and William Feitner and Tom Sizemore and who's the God, I'm trying to think of who else is in this movie there. We got Sam Shepard. I'm trying to think of the main guy. No, it's not. It's not Vince Vaughn. It is not Vince Vaughn whatsoever. So, but a big cast of characters. Oh, Orlando Bloom's in it. Orlando Bloom before anybody who knew who Orlando Bloom was. Oh, Tom Hardy's in it as well. Tom Hardy, a very, very young Tom Hardy is in it, barely recognizable. You're like, that was Tom Hardy? What the hell? There. So Josh Hartnett, that's the other guy. So Josh Hartnett is in it. Who else we got in this movie? So I'm trying to think. Oh, Jeremy Piven is in it. Nicholas Coster-Waldau. You guys know who Jaime Lannister is from Game of Thrones? Well, the guy who played Jaime Lannister, he's in this movie. Okay, and much earlier in his career than Game of Thrones there. So, but yeah, of course, this is a movie that tells the tragic story of when we had a bunch of special operators go into Mogadishu and they were trying to kill or capture. Actually, I think just capture in this case. So associates of Mohammed Farah Aidid, who was a Somalian warlord that would kill civilians and starve them because countries like the U.S. and other countries would ship food to Somalia, and then Mohammed Farah Aidid and other warlords would capture the food, and of course that means that the people of Somalia can't get to it. So they all starve, and he starves to death. And as the movie says, Mohammed Farhadid makes hunger a weapon. Okay, and so all these special operators like SEALs and we've got Delta Force and Rangers and all these guys go into Mogadishu to capture these associates of Hadid in hopes of capturing or killing Hadid there. And they just go into Somalia, or they go into Mogadishu at the worst time. All right, it's daylight hours. Okay, the Mogadishu population, the ones loyal to Hadid, they've gotten better at tipping off the warriors, the warlords, the warlords minions, the warlords heavies, right? To when the U.S. troops are going to come in there, and plus these U.S. troops have been going there and doing missions like this in Mogadishu for months and months and months, and so the Mogadishu, or the Moog, as they're called in this movie, they've discovered the patterns, right? They discovered the habits of the U.S. military, and so they've adapted, and because they adapted, it just lent to this butchering, this rampage, this carnage that happens in Black Hawk Down, where unfortunately, what was it? Was it 18? Forgive me, correct me in the live chat, anybody, if I've got that number wrong, but I think it was like 18. 18 of these military heroes lost their lives in that right there. So, but Black Hawk Down is a very powerful retelling of that there, and that movie came out what, 2001, 2002, something like that. But yeah, a much younger Ewan McGregor here. So, all right, let's get into another better Ewan McGregor movie, and that would be Ewan McGregor with a much younger Tom Holland there. Yeah, believe it or not, that is Tom Holland, as we all know him now as Spider-Man. And so this movie came out like in 2011. Okay. And I think it was Tom Holland's first movie appearance right there. But Ewan McGregor plays his dad, and we have Naomi Watts playing the wife and mother to Tom Holland's character here. And this movie is all about, remember back in 2004, 2005, somewhere around that time frame, there was like this earthquake in the Pacific, and it created all these tsunamis on all these islands out in the Pacific, including, I think this is in Indonesia here. Let me do this. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat, and I'm going to Impossible. There we go, and there we go. Let's see. Oh, it came out in 2012. I lied. Okay, so let's see here. Thailand, that's where it's at. Okay, that's where. Okay, so yeah. 2004. I was way off on the ocean right there. So yeah, so basically this is a movie about Tom Holland and Ewan McGregor, Naomi Watts. There's a couple of other kids that make up this family right there, where they're in Thailand, and then they get caught up. They get literally swept up in the destruction and chaotic aftermath of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Okay. And it is a fantastic movie. It starts off like right here is obviously earlier in the movie. This is like towards the beginning of the movie, where they're at this Thai resort. They're right on the ocean. There's love and life. And so this is the night before the tsunami hits. So, and then they wake up the next morning. They're at the pool. And next thing you know, like this massive tsunami comes in from the ocean there. Obviously, they're from this earthquake, and just sweeps all these people, either to their deaths or to injury or whatever. And when it hits, this whole family is like, at near a swimming pool at the resort. Okay, and so then this family has to fight to stay alive there. And when you watch the movie, it's a very emotional movie. If you've got a family, it's probably going to hit you even harder. If you have kids, it's going to hit you even harder there. But yeah, it's very, very, very emotional movie, and it's just really all the actors do a fantastic job in this movie, selling you as a family that love each other and they're trying to get back to each other. And you get to a point where like, man, I don't think this family member here or this family member there I don't think they're going to make it, man. I don't think they're going to make it in this movie. And they just the sheer number of dangers that they go through and the struggle that they go through here, and just Ewan McGregor because Ewan McGregor he ends up with two of his boys, and then Tom Holland ends up stranded with his mom there, and so they're just this whole family, they get split up. They're just trying to find each other in this godforsaken mess because the tsunami just covers like I don't know all of Thailand, but most of Thailand with all this seawater, and it covers up all this debris and all this. Basically the real danger is you're stepping in water where there's all this debris, all these sharp things and stuff like that on there that could cut you. Dangerous wildlife is in the water there as well. If you've got an open cut, you can just imagine all the nasty shit that's in that water, So you're hoping that you don't die of some disease that way as well. Good luck getting food, okay, there, or fresh drinking water. And this goes on for miles. And so you're just trying to get yourself through this water here, knowing like you don't know what you're stepping on, what's going to cut your feet, what's going to cut your legs, what other living creatures are in that water there, and you have to walk for miles and miles and miles. And so, it's a great movie about a family's ordeal. So I would definitely recommend checking out The Impossible. So there you go. So, and again, like I said, that's a very, very young Tom Holland from Spider-Man right there. So, all right. And then we move on to Angels and Demons, where Ewan McGregor played a priest there at the Vatican. Did I say that right? Vatican. There we go. Vatican. Vatican. There we go. Vatican. Not Vatican. Vatican. There we go. In Vatican City. And he plays a priest there who teams up with Tom Hanks's what's his name? Robert what's his character's name in the Da Vinci Code movies there? Like Robert Englund or something like that. Anyway, whatever. So Tom Hanks's character in those movies, right? And they had to team up because there's a secret secular society that is threatening to destroy not just Vatican City, but Rome entirely, and maybe even a bigger area than that. Because at the beginning of this movie, Angels and Demons, they show, I think it starts out like at CERN. Remember CERN, the particle accelerator in Switzerland there. So they show that they've created antimatter, okay? So, which is a big deal scientifically, right? So, and this antimatter, it gets taken, okay? And the antimatter, it's hidden somewhere in Vatican City, okay? And it's in this, it's kind of in this, it's in this container, okay? And the container, it's got the antimatter has to have like constant power, okay, to sustain it or whatever, right? And once it runs out of power, the antimatter just turns into like this big, massive atomic blast, right? And so they are trying to find this capsule with the antimatter in it before the capsule runs out of battery power and the antimatter goes unstable and basically causes massive nuclear detonation there. And so they bring in Langdon, that's his last name, Robert Langdon. They bring in Tom Hanks in to try to use his historical knowledge, right, to try to piece together clues as far as how they can find the antimatter before it detonates, right? And so Ewan McGregor, he's just, again, a priest at the Vatican, and also the priest, minor detail in the movie here. The Pope is killed. Okay, there we go. The Pope is killed. Pope is killed in this movie, and that's not a spoiler. That's like the premise of the beginning of the movie right there. So the Pope is killed at the beginning of the movie. This secular cult or whatever claims to have done it, and then they're the ones that are threatening to blow up Vatican City and Rome and all that stuff. And so Robert Langdon and forget what his last name, or forget what his name, Father something, obviously, right? So Tom Hanks and Ewan McGregor have to team up with some others to try to, find the antimatter before it goes unstable and blows up Vatican City and Rome. It's a great movie. It's a sequel to the Da Vinci Code, and I think it's better. I know it's better. It's better than the Da Vinci Code. Okay, there. So, but so Angels and Demons, directed by Ron Howard, who also directed the Da Vinci Code. So, and then I think what was it? There's a third. Yeah, I think there's a third, or not. I don't think. I know there's a third, like Ron Howard directed movie featuring the Robert Langdon character called Inferno. Okay, that one was not near as good as Angels and Demons there, but anyway. So, but yeah, it's a great movie. It's got a fantastic Hans Zimmer score to it, man. Just a great score from that. Really and this movie just has so many great has some great action set pieces, especially towards the end. One that really does involve Ewan McGregor's character in a helicopter. I'll just put it that way. Okay. It's a really cool sequence there. So, but Angels and Demons, directed by Ron Howard. So a much better Ewan McGregor movie than the ass end of Oak Street. There you go. So, all right, let me get a little drink off my brewski right here. And again, hey, drink up, guys. I mean, whatever you guys got, beer, 7-Up, shot of whatever, Long Island iced tea, whatever you're drinking on, man. Hoist it up with pride, all right? Here we go. And it's drinky. All right. Nice. I hate that. When you're trying to do something here, and then you see a text message, on your phone, and it's like a spam text message, but they do just a great job at making it actually look like a legit text message right here. So right now I got one. It says, "Hey, it's Jen," with 2 N's in Jen, and I look real at me because I know a Jen that has 2 N's in there. Just following up on my last message about the U.S. partnership with Israel. Oh my God. Oh my God. I tell you, those spammers, man, they're getting good. They're getting very, very good right there. And I hate that right there.
Homo.
All right, let's move on here and let's see what else we got next here. All right, and we've got another Ewan McGregor movie here. And pardon me, to get that beer burp out of my system. I know, not very cool. So this one is called The Ghost Writer. And this one is about Ewan McGregor. He's a writer, okay? And he is hired by the wife of Pierce Brosnan. Obviously, you see Pierce Brosnan there. And Pierce Brosnan is the Prime Minister of the UK. And, or at least he used to be. I can't remember. If he's a former Prime Minister or he's the current Prime Minister. But so I guess at the beginning of the movie, somebody attached to Pierce Brosnan's character is killed, his assistant or something like that. So, but Ewan McGregor as his ghostwriter was going to go up and meet Pierce Brosnan. Okay, Pierce Brosnan's Prime Minister character to write an autobiography or a biography of Pierce Brosnan's Prime Minister character, but. As it sounds, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've seen The Ghost Writer. But if memory serves, right before Ewan McGregor goes up there, Pierce Brosnan's assistant is killed. But they're like, "Hey, Ewan McGregor, still come on up here. We'll still try to find some time for you and the Prime Minister to get some FaceTime, right? So you can, write his memoirs." So, and as the movie goes along. things aren't quite as they seem. Okay. And, you start thinking Pierce Brosnan is one thing and maybe he's another. You think his wife is maybe one thing. She turns out to be another. Everyone's very duplicitous in this movie. And it takes place like at some remote location, like on the ocean, like up in, I don't know, like Scotland or Ireland or something like that. So nowhere near like London or any highly populated place there, but in a nice swanky location. Because like I said, Pierce Brosnan's character is the prime minister of the UK, or former prime minister there. So Ewan McGregor finds himself not so much being a writer as he is being a detective during this movie, and he uncovers this conspiracy, and so it's very good. It's you just never know what's going to happen next. A lot of twists and fantastic performances from all the actors all around that's in this movie. Ewan McGregor, Pierce Brosnan's really good in this here as well. And so fantastic movie. I think what is it based off? I think is it based off of like a Robert Ludlum book or something like that. So I'm going to cheat here. You guys are probably like, man, you do a lot of cheating in your show right there. Yeah. Which would be true. I can't argue that whatsoever. I cannot do that. All right. So let's see here. Oops. Okay. Do that. Ooh, who do I see right there? Who do I see in this picture right here? Oh, it's got John Bernthal in it too. Wow. Okay, that's an early role for John Bernthal. So this movie came out in 2010, I believe. So let's see. Let's get out of here. Yep. Right there. And yeah, what is it? Let's see here. I think it's trivia. Let's see that. There we go. I'm going to rate that. There we go. What is this? Okay. Oh, yeah. I forgot it was directed by Roman Polanski there. There you go. Roman Polanski. Yeah, Roman Polanski. There you go. And let's see here. Sheet here and do. Let's see. Was the Ghost writer based on a book? Let's see. And it was based on a 2007 political thriller novel, The Ghost, by English author Robert Harris. Oh, I was way off. Okay, gotcha. I thought it was like Robert Ludlum or something like that. So nice. Okay, there we go. But all that to say is, yes, the Ghost Writer, great movie. I know probably a lot of you haven't seen it. There, it's kind of a more obscure movie, but it's definitely worth watching. So it's chock full of entertainment. That is for sure there. All right, so let's move on. All right, now we're getting into some better Anne Hathaway movies here, okay? And we see Anne Hathaway, our first better movie with her is Get Smart, where we've got, of course, as you see there, Steve Carell playing Maxwell Smart, and we've got Anne Hathaway playing his love interest, his fellow agents. What was it? What was that? I can't remember what the name of the agency was on Get Smart right there. But Get Smart, that was an old TV show that came out like in the 60s. Basically, it was a parody of the James Bond movies. So when the James Bond movies with Sean Connery got real big, then some TV exec or somebody got the idea like, hey, the James Bond movies are pretty popular here in the 60s and early 70s. Why don't we do this? Let's create a TV show that spoofs on James Bond. So then they created Get Smart and created the character of Maxwell Smart. So yeah, great movie. This is a very funny movie. Anne Hathaway, she's good at it. I mean, she basically just what she does is just lands eye candy to the movie right there. She doesn't really do much more than that. She's the love interest. and I wouldn't take her out of the movie whatsoever. To hell no. Okay, she definitely serves a purpose. Okay, but also has The Rock, so it's got Dwayne Johnson in it, and who else has it got in it right there? So anyway, so it's got well, I thought I had like Rose Byrne in it as well, but it's a fantastic movie. It's got some good action set pieces. You can tell they did plunk plenty of money into this movie to make the action look good, and it's got some great side characters in it as well. I think it's got to Terry Crews was in it as well, so it's fantastic movie. And it kind of also reminds me of the movie Spy. Remember the movie Spy with Melissa McCarthy and Jude Law and Jason Statham, and you'll be hearing Jason Statham's name later on in the episode for reasons. Okay, but yeah, Get Smart with Anne Hathaway, and of course, obviously, as you see, Steve Carell. That's a better Anne Hathaway movie than we see with The End of Oak Street. There, let's move on, and then we see her in Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, starring in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, and this was Anne Hathaway's second movie with Christopher Nolan. You might be seeing the first movie she was in, directed by Christopher Nolan, a little later on. Never know. But yeah, this is the one where I believe her name was her last name is Brand in this, but she's one of the astronauts that goes on this mission to try to find habitable planets for humans to voyage to for a new home there, since Earth is dying. It's dying of blight. And so they've got this just mission, basically, well, the mission is, so if you ever seen it, so they send like 5 or 6 other astronauts like out on these missions, like these one-way missions, because these people are like, we know we'll never make it back to Earth. We're going to be gone too long, and we just don't have the infrastructure to be able to make it a round trip. So these people, knowing that full well, they get launched out on these spaceships there to these other planets to see if they're habitable or for humans, and then they like try to send back information to Earth, like, hey, I've got a habitable planet here, or this planet's not going to be habitable for humans whatsoever. Okay. And so then there's a follow-up mission, which Matthew McConaughey as Cooper is the captain of, and Anne Hathaway is one of his cohorts, or somebody else that's on a mission with them, and they go out there to try to get to the planets that they believe have been reported back as the most promising for human habitancy. Was that a word, habitancy? Anyway, it's a word now. Okay, I'm going with it. Okay. And it's a fantastic movie by Christopher Nolan. And this is like, I think, was it the first movie? I think it might have been the first movie he did after The Dark Knight Rises. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's got, speaking of another movie with a great Hans Zimmer score, it's got a great Hans Zimmer score where Hans Zimmer kind of incorporates like some pipe organ into it. It's got a great cast. Got Jessica Chastain, Casey Affleck, Michael Caine, okay, as Michael Caine used to be in every Christopher Nolan movie, right? So Tenet was the last movie that Christopher Nolan had Michael Caine in. But anyway, so then also we had we got Jessica Chastain. We got who else is in this? Oh, you very, very young Timothy Chalamet is in this movie there as well. We've got Wes Bentley. We've got a cameo by a very famous actor much later in the movie, just in case somebody hasn't seen Interstellar. I'm not going to spoil it. Okay, so, but John Lithgow's in it as well. So, lot of great cast in this movie. So hey, it's a long ass movie. You get plenty of bang for your buck as far as movies go right there. Okay, so it's just one of those movies where I think, like, when I heard it was coming out and I heard the premise of it, I had a completely different picture in my mind as far as what this movie was going to be. I was picturing like kind of a more Star Wars kind of movie where there's going to be like more action and explosions and a lot more kinetic energy to it. But it's got excitement in this movie. This movie's got plenty of excitement, plenty of cool set pieces to it. but it's a thinking man's Star Wars. It's kind of more on the in the vein of like 2001, 2010 movies like that, right? So where as opposed to it being like Starship Troopers or Star Wars or something like that, right there, but still cool, still cool action set pieces, fantastic visual effects, including like the black hole that they go through. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of messages that it's trying to convey. And this is actually one of the rare movies where Christopher Nolan tries to be emotional and tries to stir up emotion in people and actually accomplishes that mission. Most of the movies that he tries to do that in, it just does not stick the landing. But this movie's got some parts that get you right here. So fantastic movie, Interstellar. So, but yeah, check that movie out. If you haven't seen it, I can't believe you haven't seen it, but it's definitely worth checking out there. And so that is another better Anne Hathaway movie. So let's move on and see what else we got in store. And here we have the movie that Anne Hathaway won her Best Actress Oscar for. This is her in Les Miserables there. And obviously you see she's in it with Hugh Jackman. And this is based off the hit Broadway play there. And obviously the hit like composition, Les Miserables, has been around for forever, right? But, they just happen to, this is just another movie edition, movie version of Les Miserables. And yeah, she plays a very emotional, very downtrodden, very, somebody that's going through a lot of toil and strife, and it is not a great world for Anne Hathaway's character in this. But hey, you know what? She got a very, very sad song to sing out of the role, and pretty much that whole scene where she's singing her song there in the bowels of the ship there. That's what got her. It definitely got her the Best Actress Oscar, and she is very, very good in this Les Miserables movie version here. So she really gets you believing in her suffering in this movie, and just the acting really conveys to you, and it really gets to you. Okay, it really it gets you right in the heartstrings there, and she does a fantastic job at getting the emotions and the compassion, churning and burning and all that stuff while you're watching the movie. So all that to say, she does a very convincing job at making you very, very glad that you are not her character. Okay. And this movie also stars, it's got Russell Crowe in it as well. And so it is a musical, because Les Miserables is a musical. So but it's not like an annoying musical. I mean, I like musicals, but yeah, they can't be the annoying musicals. Okay, but but there have been a few musicals that have actually made it onto lists of movies that I like. La La Land, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. You've got what else is Tick Tick Boom, Les Miserables, like this, like we're talking about right now, and a few others out there that are good musicals that I like. But yeah, Les Miserables, this one right here, a lot of emotion in it. It's got a lot of good twists and turns in the movie right there. Now, obviously, if you've seen the musical, obviously you know exactly what's going to happen. The story in this of the main characters and all of that stuff right there of Jean Valjean. That's Hugh Jackman's character right there. Jean Valjean there. So anyway, and then Russell Crowe plays like the policeman that's after him there. So but yeah, great set pieces, great production design to this movie, and so I would definitely check it out, even if you're not into musicals. Okay, the singing is not that prominent, I don't think, in this movie right there. It's but and it's got good suspense in the movie, and so very kind of a very suspenseful, very emotional, very eye-opening movie there, especially when you think back to like the roles that Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe typically play, because you're like, oh, I always picture like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, right? Or Russell Crowe as Maximus, right? Or something like that, right? So or whatever, some other prominent character that he plays there. So, but yeah, Les Miserables, great movie. Yeah, so she won Best Actress. I'm sure that it was nominated for some other awards there as well. So, and let's do this. Let's see if we got any other movies here. I told you we'd be revisiting The Dark Knight Rises, the other Christopher Nolan movie there with Anne Hathaway in it. And so this is the finale to the Dark Knight trilogy from Christopher Nolan. And of course started with Batman Begins in 2005, continued with The Dark Knight in 2008, and then concluded with the Dark Knight Rises in 2012 here. And you see her. She is, she's obviously teaming up with Batman, or so it would seem in this particular scene. But a lot of Dark Knight Rises gets a lot of crap from people, just as the third favorite for a lot of people, the third favorite movie in the Dark Knight trilogy. And it does have a lot of plot holes and a lot of kind of nonsensical stuff, in it, like for instance, like the one that I always point out to is, how exactly did Batman get up on top of the bridge and have time to like get gasoline in the shape of the Batman logo on the top of the bridge just to start it on fire? Okay. Like stuff like that, and that kind of thing. So, or, if it's so hard to get into Gotham City after Bane's heavies, after Bane's goons cut off all entrances to Gotham, like, well, how the hell did Bruce Wayne how did he get back into Gotham after he escaped from his prison there? I mean, just things like that, right? Little plot holes, but it's still a big epic, action packed, great Batman movie, a very grounded Batman movie with great performances, from Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Gary Oldman, of course, got Tom Hardy as Brain. Nobody cared about me until I put on a mask. Like perhaps he's wondering why you would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. Okay. So, but, rather old, like a Matthew Modine's in it there, which is kind of depressing seeing Matthew Modine in this movie because he's a really old man. I remember Matthew Modine from way back in the 80s and Full Metal Jacket, Vision Quest, so, great, fantastic movie. Again, another movie with a fantastic Hans Zimmer score. So a lot of Hans Zimmer in our movies here tonight there as we're going through all these movies. But and I think Anne Hathaway makes a pretty good Catwoman in this. Not as good as Michelle Pfeiffer and Batman Returns right there, but that's a pretty high bar to try to surpass Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns right there. So, but Anne Hathaway kind of puts a different spin on it. Her Catwoman is a little less gothic, than Michelle Pfeiffer's. But Batman Returns is a Tim Burton movie, so it's going to be more gothic, and hence the Catwoman's going to be more gothic. But Anne Hathaway's good in this. There, she's she's appropriately snotty and bitchy, and kind of does her own thing and all that stuff, and keeps Bruce Wayne / Batman guessing. And so yeah, fantastic movie there. I would definitely check that out. So I don't know if we're going to get as good a Batman trilogy as we ever got, with the Dark Knight trilogy there from Christopher Nolan. So, but I remember like when Batman Begins was announced, when it was announced that Warner Brothers was, refueling up to restart the Batman, started to do another Batman movie. I was like, oh God, jeez, didn't we just kill the Batman franchise with Batman and Robin there with George Clooney and his bat nipples? Like, didn't we just kill that? Why do we already need another Batman movie? And then, I went and saw Batman Begins, and by the time the end credits rolled, I was like, God, was I stupid to not want another Batman movie? Because, man, Batman Begins was so damn good, okay? And, the Batman movies only got better with The Dark Knight in particular. So, but anyway, so, yeah, let's see where we're at here. See if we got any more. Nope, that's it. We are tapped out of better Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway movies. So we're good to go right there. But, again, since, I was forced to talk about such a lame Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor movie here tonight with the ass end of Choke Street. I'm sorry, the end of Oak Street here tonight. I wanted to at least, let you set your eyes on some better movies to check out from them right there. Okay, so that is all I am up to for tonight. So did you guys like that? I thought you might. I thought you guys might. So there you guys. You guys are always so grateful, and I appreciate that there. So, all right. So let's do this here real quick. I just want to double check something here and see where we're at. And what should we do next here? What should we do next? Oh, I know what we should do next. Okay. I know what should we do next. It just happens to be my favorite segments of every Movies Merica spoiler warning show that I do on Thursday nights. And that would be the movie military moments. Okay. Now, some might be new to the show here. While you're watching live or you're, maybe watching later on here, and you're like, okay, well, what is the movie military moment? So allow me to educate you. Allow me to give you an education about the movie military moment, and so the movie military moment here, just to get into it, is where I give myself a few minutes to pay tribute to a member of the military who was heroic enough to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Okay. I'm ex-mil, I'm ex-military. I consider myself very patriotic. I love my country, America. And if anybody has a problem with it, too bad, tough titty. All right. I love it. And so that's what I created the movie military moment for, is for me to pay tribute for a few moments to a military hero. Now, some of you might rightfully be saying right now, "Hey, Van, that's fantastic. Hey, I love the military too, but what the hell does that have to do with a movie review show?" And you know what? That's a valid question. I'm not gonna throw shit at you. I am not going to give you any kind of guff on that. And so, yes, I do owe you an explanation, but not until after this. All right. So, yes, I do owe you an explanation now, don't I? I do. So the connection is this. So as you would imagine, if you are awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay, you didn't get it for like being eating the most chow at the chow hall on base, right? Or being the best boot polisher or something lame like that, right? You got it for doing something very, cool is kind of the wrong word for it, but something monumental, something selfless, all right? Something that shows that you love your fellow warriors more than you love yourself right there, okay? And you are someone that is just a fantastic human being. You're the best of us, all right? And so to that end, it might be something like, okay, you are a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, right? And your job is to fly in supplies to this combat zone, and then evac the wounded, right? Okay, and you're doing this, and then this combat zone, of course, it has an LZ or a landing zone, and that's where you're supposed to land your helicopter, right? Well, suddenly this LZ or landing zone, it gets too hot. Now, what do I mean by a hot LZ? Well, I mean like a landing zone or an LZ where the enemy is just shooting up this landing zone. They got small arms, they got big arms, they got RPGs. They're this, basically it's an LZ where if you land a helicopter, there's a pretty damn good chance a helicopter and the people inside the helicopter are going to get hit. Okay, And so it's just worthless to fly in there and get a helicopter destroyed, and and everybody in it destroyed, and that helicopter's ability to evac the wounded and bring in shipments and bring in supplies. But you're this captain. You're piloting this helicopter, and you hear on the squawk box, the radio, "Hey, the LZ's too hot, man. We can't land here, man. We gotta find another LZ." And your captain's on there going, "You better not land that helicopter in that LZ, man. The taxpayers pay for that helicopter. You don't, okay?" And that's your brothers down there. That's your brothers down there fighting. Okay, they're taking on the VC, taking on the Viet Cong or the NVA, the North Vietnamese Army. Those are, in case you didn't know, the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army, two different things. All right. So and you're down there like, man, my brothers are getting killed. They're getting whacked. So, and you're like, I got to get down there. I'm sorry, Colonel. I got to get down there. All right. I got to get these supplies. I got to get this ammo to the soldiers, and I got to evac the wounded. These guys are going to die, man. So you disobey orders, and you still fly in there, and you evac the wounded. You deliver the supplies. You do it over and over again in this hot LZ. Just lucky that you're not getting hit with rounds, RPG rockets, flamethrowers, whatever. You're just lucky that harm isn't coming to you, right? So if you were like one of those soldiers, like maybe you're an Army Ranger or you're airborne or whatever, you're there on the ground and you keep seeing this heroic helicopter pilot just keep landing and flying out and then coming back and whatnot, and it's just an amazing thing, all right? And you just can't believe your eyeballs. Or if you're like an audience member, okay, and you're seeing all this go down on a big movie screen in front of you, that would be a very cool movie military moment, wouldn't it? I would think so. It'd be very cool to see that all on the big screen. Carnage and calamity and chaos and gunfire and explosions and helicopters landing and taking off and all that stuff. It's a very cool but deadly movie military moment, and that's The Connection. Aha! Aha! Okay. To quote the old man from Coming to America. All right. So I think we've made our honoree for tonight's movie military moment wait long enough. Don't you? I think so. So let's get right to our honoree here tonight. And so our honoree for tonight is one First Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that first name right there. But he fought in the Korean War, and his Medal of Honor action place was Incheon, Korea. Okay. And we're going to find out more about the good First Lieutenant. But first, I think that the good First Lieutenant deserves some good old movie military moment music. Don't you? Yeah, because I want some music in the background while I inform you and I better educate you on the heroics of First Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez. Okay, so and let me know in the live chat here if this music is like too loud or it's like drowning me out right there. So I always appreciate the feedback on that. So, but let's get to it. This is the movie military moment. And in this movie military moment, we pay tribute to one First Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez, who fought in the Korean War. And let's learn more about First Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez, shall we? For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty as a rifle platoon commander of Company A in action against enemy aggressor forces. With this platoon, First Lieutenant Lopez was engaged in the reduction of immediate enemy beach defenses after landing with the assault waves. Exposing himself to hostile fire, he moved forward alongside a bunker and prepared to throw a hand grenade into the next pillbox, whose fire was pinning down that sector of the beach. Taken under fire by an enemy automatic weapon and hit in the right shoulder and chest, As he lifted his arm to throw, he fell backwards and dropped the deadly missile. After a moment, he turned and dragged his body forward in an effort to retrieve the grenade and throw it. In critical condition from pain and loss of blood, and unable to grasp the hand grenade firmly enough to hurl it, he chose to sacrifice himself rather than endanger the lives of his men. And with a sweeping motion of his wounded right arm, cradled the grenade under him and absorbed the full impact of the explosion. His exceptional courage, fortitude, and devotion to duty reflect the highest credit upon First Lieutenant Lopez and the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country, and we salute you, First Lieutenant Baldomero Lopez, for your sacrifice. And that has been the movie military moment. All right. There you go. All right. I'm pumped up, everybody. Pumped up. And yeah, you should be pumped up too, man, because man, that guy he made the ultimate sacrifice, man. So like what's that phrase right there? Some all give some, but some gave all. So there you go. And he was one of those that gave all, sacrificed his life, sacrificed the future with loved ones and living lives. And he sacrificed Christmases and Thanksgivings and, maybe teaching his kids how to ride a bike and having grandkids and all of that stuff, having kids and grandkids, all this, sacrificed all that. Okay. Just to save his fellow soldiers right there. Okay. So just man, I'll tell you, I'm getting emotional, man. Getting emotional. I tell you, getting emotional right there. Those kind of heroics always get me right there. That's for sure. So, but anyway, that has been the movie military moment. Okay, so let me right now here let you guys know what movie I will be discussing and going over next week. Obviously, this week it was The End of Oak Street. And next week's movie will be, drum roll please, Mutiny. Mutiny with Jason Statham. Told you you'd be hearing Jason Statham's name later on here in this episode. Told you, I'm a man of my word, everybody. So, but yeah, it'll be the, I know, it's hard to believe, Jason Statham, for a change, is doing an action thriller. And get this, you hardly ever see this from Jason Statham. He's playing a guy who was like an ex-special forces guy. He's like the best warrior ever, and he kicks everyone's ass. A real departure, real departure for Jason Statham whatsoever. So, so it's so good to see him change it up for once. So, yes, I will be talking about Mutiny, the new Jason Statham movie, on this Sunday. Damn it. Ooh. I'm getting all choked up about Mutiny, apparently, too. But, yeah, so this Sunday on Movies Merica Live, I will be talking about Mutiny, and that show comes on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific. And that show, Movies Merica Live, again on Sunday afternoon, that's where I do the spoiler-free review of movies, typically the newest movies, but every once in a while, I'll do a retro review like I did a couple weeks ago with RoboCop 2. But this week, it's new movie time, as is usually the case. And then, so then a week from tonight on this very show, Movies Merica Spoiler Warning, guess what? I'll be talking about Mutiny again, but this time with, potential spoilers. Okay, that's why I call tonight's show, I call the show I do on Thursday nights, Movies Merica Spoiler Warning, because I'm trying to help you folks out in case you haven't seen the movie that I'm discussing. I'm trying to help you out and avoid spoilers. So there you go, right there. I don't have to do it, but I'm just such a heroic human being that I got to do it for you. Just got to do it. All right. That's the least I can do. There you go. But anyway, so yeah, and go ahead and send the links out to, to the Sunday show about Mutiny, and then send a link out to next Thursday show when they are released. When I say links, I mean like the links to watch the show with, right? So one's a YouTube link, the other one's a Rumble link, okay? So that basically gives you the capability of you can watch the show on YouTube or Rumble, or, man, if you're crazy, if you're a wild man or a wild girl, watch it on both at the same time. Woohoo! Crazy times. Okay, so you can do that if you wanted to, all right? So, but yeah. So yeah, go ahead and don't hog all the Movies Merica to yourself. Okay, just send the links you use to watch the show to anybody that you even remotely suspects is into movies whatsoever. Okay, so yeah, there. If you would definitely do that, that would be fantastic right there. And on Sunday morning, that's when the links to watch the Sunday afternoon show comes out. So yeah, so you can just go to like Rumble or YouTube and like look up Movies Merica Mutiny on there, and you might have to do a little scrolling, but on YouTube in particular, but you'll find the links to the show, or you could go to my X profile at Movies Merica, and you'll find the links there as well. So all right, and speaking of which, there I was mentioning platforms. Follow me if you would on the aforementioned X account at Movies Merica. Again, a great place on Sunday morning and Thursday morning to find the links to use to watch the show for that day right there, the Movies Merica show. I'm also on Facebook. I got a Facebook group, a Facebook page. I have my Van Ebert profile on Facebook, and any of those places on Facebook, that's where you can find the links to watch that day's Movies Merica show there as well. I'm also on Rumble. If you look up Movies Merica on Rumble, you're going to see like 3 Movies Merica accounts. If you would follow all 3 of them, that would be fantastic. I definitely appreciate that. So, and then I'm also on Gab. If you're a Gab guy or a Gab girl, follow me on gab.com, okay? And I post the links there as well. And Instagram, I'm on the gram, okay? So if you want to check me out on Instagram, by all means, again, of course, under, guess what? Movies Merica. There you go. That's another great place, a very dependable place to get the links to the Movies Merica episodes right there. Okay, so what else am I on? What else I'm on? Well, of course, I'm on YouTube as well. So, and YouTube, yeah, just the best way to find the links to the show on YouTube is just type in Movies Merica and then the name of the movie there. Obviously, in this next week's case, you'll type in Movies Merica Mutiny on YouTube right there. And then also on YouTube, I'm under the Till Death Podcast Network channel there. So yeah, if you start looking for me, like, hey, what's this Till Death Podcast Network thing out there? That would be why. So, but that's what I'm under on YouTube. So anyway, so if you would follow me on all those platforms there, that would be fantastic. It costs you nothing to do that. Okay, it costs you barely any time out of your day to do that right there. So, and if you want to send me a direct message on X there underneath my at Movies Merica account on X and let me know, hey, I followed you on this platform and that platform and that platform, I will follow you back. Okay, but I don't know to follow you back unless you tell me. There you go. So, all right, where are we getting to now as we get ready to wrap up this show here? Because we are getting ready to close out this show tonight. Absolutely. So, all right, I think we're good to go there. Good to go there. We're just cross my T's and dot my I's, and there you go. All right, try not to step on ducks, all of that stuff right there. So, all right. Well, hey, I just want to thank everybody for watching the show here tonight, particularly my man Unfolding Joker in the live chat on Rumble there, and it basically just keeping it going in the live chat on the Rumble side right there. So, and also to the folks that are watching the recording of this, I definitely appreciate that. Again, don't be stingy with the Movies Merica. Okay, go ahead and send this episode to others right there. And again, also on Rumble and YouTube. All my past Movies Merica episodes are all out on Rumble and YouTube there as well. Why do I mention that? Well, because, hey, we all have Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or HBO Max or whatever, right? We have the streaming services like that, right? And so you get on there and, they feed you the algorithm of all the movies they're suggesting. And sometimes you'll see like a thumbnail of a movie, on Apple TV or whatever, Hulu or Netflix or whatever, and you'll be like, honey, check this out. Does this movie look good to you? I mean, the thumbnail looks good. But I don't know what's good. Well, you've got a dilemma on your hands there, it sounds like. But you know what? You can get yourself out of that dilemma by just going to Rumble and typing in Movies Merica and the name of the movie, okay? Or you can do the same in YouTube. Type in Movies Merica, name of the movie, do a little scrolling. Now, to be honest with you, in Rumble, you're going to have to do less scrolling. It'll probably come up like pretty quickly. But yeah, so find my episode about that movie. Find the spoiler-free review, obviously, of the movie, okay? And then when you find the episode, don't be daunted by the over hour, runtime of the show. I know, I get it. Like, nobody wants to have to watch, over an hour of a show just to know if a movie's good. Nah. Bump that. Don't do that. What I would do is just start the episode up and then fast forward to like the 55-minute mark. And that's typically when I do my final thought on the movie and let you know, is this movie good? Does it suck? Is it somewhere in between? All right. And you can save yourself potentially anywhere from 90 minutes to 3.5 hours, of your time watching a lousy movie there. Or you can get confirmation from me that it's a great movie. So, but if you waste 90 minutes to 3.5 hours or whatever, so watching a bad movie, that's your fault. That's your fault if you don't bother going and checking out my reviews right there. Very quick. It's very quick. It's very easy to do it, right? Just Rumble, Movies Merica, the name of the movie, or YouTube, Movies Merica, the name of the movie. Just search for those right there. Find the episode. Fast forward to the 55-minute mark. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Very, very simple right there. Okay, so, all right. So let's get ready to wrap. Let's not get ready to wrap up this episode. Let's end this episode right up in here. So, but like I always say, people, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.